Everybody, how's it going out there? Welcome to Movies and Music with AJ. My name's AJ. Thanks for watching. And we're back today with another horror movie reaction. We're going to be watching The Exorcist from 1973, which of course was directed by William Friedkin. And I'm going to be honest, guys, I don't know if I'm ready. You know, my whole life I've heard that, The Exorcist is one of the scariest movies of all time. And in particular, one of the scariest religious-themed movies of all time. So for me, as somebody who grew up Catholic, no longer practicing, but, your upbringing is your upbringing. Some of that stuff stays with you. And also just me being a storyteller, I've written and directed short films, and I've just done writing of all kinds my whole life. So as a storyteller, I'm someone who appreciates a good premise or a good concept. And I just feel like with religious imagery and the whole idea of hell and demons and possession and even ghosts, all that stuff is just like rich for mining for really narrative gold. And in particular, from a horror angle as well. Growing up Catholic, it's like so much guilt, and then the imagery can be really like provocative. And I think of the paintings of Hieronymus Bosch. There's just so much in the imagery and the lore of Catholicism that it's like I said, it's ripe for just really being able to scare the hell out of you. I watched Event Horizon in the 7th grade, and it took me years to recover from that. So yeah, I'm excited to get into this movie. As far as the kinds of horror films, if you're new to this channel, the kinds of horror films that I've watched so far, it's mostly been like slashers and some horror comedies. But I did watch The Omen last year, so that was my first kind of dabbling with supernatural horror. And, I've had a lot of comments on that video of people being like, oh, you have to watch The Exorcist. After watching this movie, after watching The Omen, as one person recently put it, The Omen is basically the first in like the trilogy of Catholic horror classics, along with this film, The Exorcist, and then Rosemary's Baby, which I haven't watched that one either. So you could probably expect a reaction to that one at some point also. Not sure when, but I definitely got to complete the Catholic horror trilogy. So yeah, I don't really know a whole lot about it. Obviously with a film this big, that's such a big part of pop culture, I've definitely seen like stills and images. I believe this is the one with the little girl, right? At some point she floats over a bed. I know that much. But I think that's pretty much all I know. I don't even think I know who's like actually stars in it, or like, what the full premise is, like where this takes place. I don't really know any of that. I've just kind of seen some stills, and that's pretty much it. Actually kind of surprised, like I said, as somebody who grew up Catholic and a fan of films, that I managed to stay like pretty much unspoiled to this whole movie. So anyway, let's get into it. Without further ado, this is going to be my reaction to The Exorcist from 1973, directed by William Friedkin. Let's go. As a fan of 2001, A Space Odyssey, I do like when a film starts from black with just some ominous music playing over the black screen. It looks hot as hell there. Just whenever you see the wavy lines in the distance, that's how you know. Whew. They're excavating northern Iraq. Okay. Oh, is that's Max von Sydow, right? Fan of him for sure. Seventh Seal. Another, I guess, sort of religious film. Pretty classic. Not of the same period. I know this is not that kind of film, but what if like an arm just like reached out and grabbed him? It just pulls it right out of his pocket. Ooh, interesting. Like a little demon figure. Ooh, wow. Homeboy's struggling. I wonder if he has some sort of condition, or if it's just dehydration, exhaustion from being out in that sun all day. Or maybe he's just really shook by whatever that little figurine he found. I'm wondering how long Max von Sydow is going to survive this movie. It feels like they're setting him up for like just kind of to be the opening sort of inciting incident. Evil against evil. Something I must do. Famous last words, right? I'm appreciating just how like atmospheric this movie is so far. How it's just Oh, that's a cool shot. It's like man versus beast, good versus evil, with the sun in between them. And I always feel like the sun, you know, represents God or gods. So that was kind of a really cool transition there. For a second there, I was getting nervous though about those dogs, because I know from having watched The Omen that you can't really trust dogs in these type of movies. What is up there? Yeah, that's always kind of creepy. Window open in the middle of the night. Waiting for a jump scare. Nope.
Morning.
I really appreciate how this film just like lives in quiet moments and how atmospheric it is so far. It's like we're learning about the world of this film, but it's also a little bit unsettling at the same time. Warner Bros. Crash Course. Is this a Warner Brothers film? I think I did see the logo.
Shall we summon the writer? He's in Paris, I believe.
Hiding?
Blatty.
This is one camera move I love from the 70s that people don't do anymore. The extreme zoom from like a really wide shot.
If you want to affect any change, you have to do it within the system.
I mean, priests, doctor, lawyers, I've talked to them all. I don't know anyone who hasn't felt that.
Me and Sharon played a game in the backyard. And we had a picnic down by the river.
Sounds like a fun day.
This man came along on this beautiful gray horse.
A pale horse?
I think it was a gelding.
Party invitations. I want to go to personal ones. Oh, Reagan, don't.
You know, in a lot of movies, especially horror movies, I feel like you don't see a lot of like kind of loving parent-child relationships. But man, making them have such a like idyllic home life right off the bat, I'm sure it's gonna hit that much harder whenever things really go crazy in this movie. New York? Is this New York? Is it rude that I only guessed New York because of all the trash cans and the graffiti? This feels like a New York-sized apartment.
How about you, Timmy? You are all right?
I don't recognize this actor, but he kind of looks like a young De Niro.
You are not happy. Tell me, what is the matter?
Mama, I'm all right. I'm fine. Really, I am.
He doesn't seem fine. Seems like a good son, though. Visiting his mom, taking care of her. Got a Ouija board.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's both play.
Oh!
You really don't want me to play, huh?
No, I do. Captain Howdy said no.
Captain Howdy.
Oh. Captain Howdy, I see.
Nice.
I love how, like, non-threatening that name is to the point that it's actually really creepy and threatening.
Captain Howdy, that isn't very nice.
Well, maybe he's sleeping.
You think?
Do demons sleep?
No, I love you.
This movie's doing something really well that The Omen also did well, which is, if you didn't know any better, if you just turn this movie on knowing nothing about it, a lot of it's just playing like just a straight family drama. And that's just a really good way to ease you into it and like get you to lower your guard and also just to get to know and care about the characters.
My mother town. She's alone. I never should have left her. Went out of this job. It's wrong. It's no good. You're the best we've got. I need out. I'm unfit.
A priest who's lost faith in his own abilities in himself. Is that Captain Howdy? It's either a bird, a bat, or Bart's twin brother.
Jesus Christ, Carl, don't do that.
Rats or spirits? Which would you rather have living in your house?
We want to see Mrs. Caras.
Are you a relative?
Yes, I am her brother. He is her son.
Why you did this to me, Timmy? Why?
Mama, I'm gonna take you home.
I'm gonna take you home.
Couldn't you put us someplace else?
Like sad.
Who got the money for that, Timmy? You?
Damn butchering Nazi. What's for dessert?
I don't know, the way she opened her eyes, that felt different for the character. I guess he found dessert. It was bedtime.
You're gonna die up there.
I'm sorry she's been sick. She didn't know what she was sick.
Okay.
Upstairs. You just take your pills and you'll be fine, really.
Okay.
Okay?
This movie does such a great job with exposition because all of it is action-based. It's slowly unfolding as things are happening. There have been little weird moments. If the beds are rocking, the demons are a-knocking. Oh man, this movie just uses silence so well. Ooh, I saw a flash of something and I just got chills. I don't know what it was. It looked like a face. But I literally just got chills up my spine. What was that?
I don't want it! Fucking bastard!
Who has gone before us? The sign of faith and sleeps the sleep of peace.
Oh, this is a really good shot. It's like he's like making eye contact with us.
The shaking of the bed. That's doubtless due to muscular spasm.
Oh, no.
Bro, you weren't there.
No, that... What causes this?
Lesion. Lesion in the temporal lobe. It's a kind of seizure disorder. It isn't rare to find destructive, even criminal behavior.
Hey, do me a favor, will you? Tell me something good.
Do me a favor, will you? I guess it's kind of a good character moment because she's been very like mid-Atlantic accent proper up to this point. But when she's distressed, like the New York comes out, do me a favor, will you? Give me some good news.
You're gonna feel a little stick here. Don't move.
You know, needles generally don't bother me. A shot in the arm, no big deal. But man, I think a shot in the neck. Ugh. Shout out to Aaron from Blind Wave. Oh, oh jeez. That all felt a little sloppy. Like, I feel like they could have been a little more graceful about that whole thing.
Just nothing there. No vascular displacement at all.
Miss McNeil's on the phone. She says it's urgent.
Chris, doctors.
Miss McNeil, Dr. Taylor.
Nope.
Do something, doctor. Please help her.
Oh, damn. Oh, is her throat like...
The sow is mine.
Me! Me! Oh, no! Stay away from me!
Hold her tight.
I don't think your human medicine works on demonic possession. Yep, that's about the mood.
Pathological states can induce abnormal strength.
She's like, y'all full of shit.
She's acting like she's fucking out of her mind, psychotic, like a...
Dr. Tanny says the x-rays are negative. Keep any drugs in your house?
No. Christ, I don't even smoke grass.
Why did weed stop being called grass? No one calls it that anymore.
I think it's time we started looking for a psychiatrist.
Captain Howdy really needs to cool out, man. I don't like this.
What the hell do you mean going off and leaving Reagan by herself? Are you crazy? Her window's wide open. The whole room is me. Burke isn't... What's Burke got to do with it?
What's Burke got to do with it?
Suppose you heard. Burke's dead.
Ooh. Okay.
Are you comfortable, Reagan?
Such a good performance. That face is so creepy.
Is there someone inside you?
Sometimes.
Do you want him to leave you?
Yes.
Creepy.
Who are you?
Oh, that camera shot. That was a good camera move. This priest boxes, runs on the track. It's like he's getting physically in shape to fight demons. He's on the Doomslayer tract of the priesthood.
Came for Kinderman. Homicide.
What's this all about?
Dennings, you read how he died.
Kind of fall.
Let me tell you how. Burke Dennings
Jennings was found at the bottom of those steps with his head turned completely around, facing backwards.
Somnambuliform possession. Quite frankly, we really don't know much about it at all.
Somebody get this girl some chapstick.
Do you have any religious beliefs?
No. Why?
You ever heard of exorcism? Well, it's
So casual. You ever heard of exorcism?
the victim's belief in possession is what helped cause it. So in that same way, the belief in the power of exorcism can make it disappear.
All those records. Oh, these effects, by the way.
You know what she did?
Captain Howdy has no chill, man. What? I don't even know what to say to that.
I'm very sorry. Hello.
It's all right. I should have told you I wouldn't be in uniform.
In uniform. I love that. Off-duty priest.
And, how do you go about getting an exorcism?
Beg your pardon? Well, the first thing, I'd have to get him into a time machine and get him back to the 16th century.
I didn't get you.
All those things they taught me at Harvard. I've never met one priest who has performed an exorcism. Not one.
Father Karras is my little girl.
Then that's all the more reason to forget about exorcism. I could see her as a psychiatrist.
A priest who's also a man of science. He's the one that's skeptical about the exorcism.
Just help her.
Yeah, this is like a really cool story setup. I really dig this. Here we go.
Hello, Reagan.
Jeez. Is she like physically transforming into whoever has possessed her?
And I'm the devil. Now kindly undo these straps. Your mother's in here with his cars. Would you like to leave a message?
Wow.
What is it?
Have some guacamole for your trouble. How is he still in the building? I'd have pieced out. I'd have been halfway across the country at that point. It's like, no thank you.
For this is my body. This is the cup of my blood. The blood of the new and everlasting covenant. The mystery of faith.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
Ooh, that was
like
a
that?
fun cut.
Isn't that
Oh, they got the
loud,
padding
Reagan?
on the bedposts.
Bonjour.
Quod nomen mihi est.
La plume de ma tante.
I'm planning to stay in.
Whew. I need to know that this movie got all the Oscars. Like, for sure, sound design. I hope they got that. I hope that little girl, I hope she got an Oscar.
I'm going through something and I just need to...
The art of understatement. I'm going through something.
But I have made a prudent judgment that it meets the conditions set down in the ritual.
You would want to do the exorcism yourself?
Yes.
Might be best to have a man of experience, maybe someone who spent time in foreign missions. Have you any ideas? How about Lancaster Marin?
Max von Sydow.
Experience.
Just loving the whole ambiance of this. Is the fog and the night.
Mrs. McNeil.
Yes.
I'm Father Mary. Father Karras. It's an honor to meet you, Father.
Not an honor for everyone, apparently.
Stick your up her ass, you motherfucking worthless cocksucker.
The devil has a way with words, doesn't he?
God in heaven.
To once and for all consign that fallen tyrant to the flames of hell. Roaring lion, hasten to our God forever and ever.
Amen. Oh Lord, hear my prayer.
Damien, the response, please, Damien.
Come on,
He shook.
The power to tramp underfoot serpents and scorpions.
Ooh.
Grand power to confront this cruel demon.
Oh my god, her face right now.
You hostile power.
Uh-oh.
I cast you out! who lives and reigns with the Father and the Holy Spirit. Damien!
Amen.
God, defender of the human race. Whoa. To depart from the servant of God. It's the power of Christ that compels you. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. Do not despise my command because you know me to be a sinner.
Do not despise my command because you know me to be a sinner. It's a pretty hardcore line.
Blood of the martyrs commands you.
Is like the whole building shaking? If you're walking by outside on the street, are you just seeing the whole building shake? Whoa. Man, I'm all tense. Like my shoulders are just like throbbing from the tension.
Let's rest before we start again.
Before we start again? Good thing he's a boxer, because this is going to be a 12-round fight. Yeah, they said it nearly killed him the last time he did one.
Dime, why you do this to me?
A one-on-one battle. More of that holy cologne. Yeah, I don't think he's coming back.
You son of a bitch!
Oh, he was!
Take me! Take me!
Uh-oh. Whoa. Yeah, he did not survive that.
Do you want to make a confession?
Still alive? Is the devil going to transfer into this guy? I'd move out of this house too. I think for sure that the devil transferred into this guy from that other priest.
She doesn't remember any of it.
That's good.
Hi, Father.
Hello.
I thought you'd like to keep this.
Got the window. Yep. Okay. Oof. Linda Blair. Iconic. Yeah, so what a movie. Something about that ending though. I don't trust it, you know? Like, but obviously like this is like there's not a post-credit scene or anything, you know, there's no that is the movie. But man, I feel like it can't be that clean and simple, you know? Something felt off about how that ended, and the priest. I don't trust that other guy, that other priest. Dyer was that his name? Like obviously, like I can just sit here and like rave and gush about how like the acting and you know just the pacing and editing and you know the effects and the sound design and just like all of it was just so masterful and just so engrossing and just like peak filmmaking. Like you couldn't, a lot of the aspects of this film you couldn't have done them any better, you know. That was peak, and I could sit here and rave about that, but then like that'd be just not very interesting, right? Because I would just be saying what you already know, which is this is an all-timer movie. But what I would like to talk about, which I find really interesting, is just the conceit of it. This is a priest, but he's a man of the cloth, but he's also a psychiatrist who, you know, is Harvard educated and has advanced degrees. So he's also a man of education, a man of science. The implications of that and what that does for his own personal struggle, and then what we know about his struggle with his family, with his mother being sick and then dying. And so he has all these conflicts, you know, personal and internal, but also just, you know, very universal, which is science versus religion. I feel like that's a classic, you know, that's as long as there's been science and as long as there's been religion, there's been that conflict. And not necessarily always an external conflict. Obviously, there's been history, you know, throughout history where the church was anti-science and stifled scientists and scientific thinking. So there's obviously that, but I mean, just even internally, just as a person, as a human, trying to juggle different ways of looking at the world and processing the world. That internal struggle has been around. So I love that they centered the story on this guy who, like, it hinged on him being able to have these two beliefs at the same time, and how to juggle those, and then knowing if you made the right decision based on that internal push and pull. I just found that as a really great setup, because the easy thing would have been to have those be two different characters, you know? Like, you could have had a psychiatrist and a priest and had that be sort of an external struggle, an external conflict in the film, and that would have been fine. But I feel like the next level storytelling, compelling thing to do is, rather than having that be an external conflict, have it be the same person, have it be an internal conflict. Because internal conflicts, I feel like they're definitely a little bit harder to portray in film being a visual medium. But I always feel like at the end of the day, an internal conflict, to me, is more interesting than an external one. And yeah, and this film did that masterfully with a lot of the characters. You saw a lot of characters in their internal struggle, and, you know, the mother not being sure, you know. By the way, let's shout out to Ellen Burstyn for that performance. But yeah, her internal struggle of, like, knowing what to do as a parent. Yeah, just the whole thing was great. But yeah, I'm going to be left, like, I know the thing that I'm going to take away and that I'm going to really be thinking about is just that idea of, like, how we juggle these different competing sort of guiding philosophies in life, and, like, how we look at the world, and how what we believe and what we've been educated with, what's been put into us, how that shades the way we view events. You know, you can have, 10 different people looking at the same thing, but depending on what those people's upbringings were and what they've been educated in, they might be seeing something different. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like having a, like, aj.exe has stopped working. Like, I don't really know what else to say. Yeah, just it's a fascinating film. That's really, at the end of the day, that's all I have to say. And it definitely gave me the creeps. Definitely, this is a movie that's gonna live with me for a few days, if not, for years. I look forward to editing this, though. Oof, but yeah, I'm just sitting here shook. I don't even know what else to say. But I think I'll just go ahead and leave it there, call it a day, collect my thoughts, go about the rest of my day. I don't know how I'm going to do that. But yeah, so if you want to follow along with more of my reactions, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Signing out for today, this has been Movies and Music with AJ. My name's AJ. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.